Welcome back to Hydro Haven, where we bridge traditional wisdom with modern gardening techniques. Today, I'm excited to share a revolutionary approach to soil restoration that requires minimal effort but delivers exceptional results. If you've been battling with lifeless, compacted soil that seems to reject everything you plant, this traditional Korean method will be your new best friend. Let's dive into this remarkably effective technique that has transformed countless gardens across generations. Understanding dead soil, the modern garden crisis. Before we explore the solution, let's understand what we're dealing with. Dead soil isn't just unproductive, it's an ecosystem that has lost its fundamental living components. Modern gardening practices involving chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and excessive tilling have stripped many soils of their microbial diversity, organic matter, and natural structure. The result is compacted, nutrient-poor dirt that struggles to support plant life. When you see water pooling on the surface instead of soaking in, few earthworms when you dig, or plants that remain stunted despite fertilization, you're likely dealing with biologically inactive soil. The Korean perspective. Nature's time frame, not ours. Korean agricultural traditions embrace a philosophy that stands in stark contrast to our hurried Western approaches. Rather than forcing immediate results through intensive labor and chemical inputs, Korean farmers traditionally work within nature's rhythms, allowing biological processes to restore balance at their own pace. This perspective shifts gardening from an exhausting battle against nature to a thoughtful collaboration with it. The lazy method I'm about to share embodies this philosophy perfectly: minimal intervention at strategic moments, followed by patience as nature does the heavy lifting. The Magic Sheet Method foundation of Korean soil restoration. At the heart of this traditional approach is what I call the Magic Sheet Method, a process of layering organic materials that mimic the natural soil building process found in forests. Begin by selecting your restoration area. This could be an existing garden bed or a new area you plan to cultivate. The beauty of this method is that it requires absolutely no digging or tilling, making it perfect for those with physical limitations or simply those who prefer conservation of energy. Start by gathering your materials: cardboard or several layers of newspaper, kitchen scraps excluding meat, dairy, and oils, dried leaves, grass clippings, aged manure if available, small twigs, straw or hay, and some finished compost. You'll also benefit from a small amount of wood ash and, if you can source it, dried and crushed seaweed. Begin by mowing any existing vegetation as short as possible. Don't remove it, as it will contribute valuable organic matter. If dealing with persistent weeds, a preliminary treatment with boiling water or vinegar can help weaken them without chemical residues. Now, lay down cardboard or 6 to 10 sheets of newspaper, overlapping edges by at least 8 inches to prevent determined weeds from finding gaps. Thoroughly wet this layer until completely saturated. Next, apply what Korean gardeners call the soil activator, a thin layer of good garden soil or finished compost that contains living microorganisms. This isn't just any soil. Traditionally, it would be collected from a healthy forest floor where decomposition processes are naturally robust. Just 2 to 3 handfuls scattered across every square yard provides enough beneficial bacteria and fungi to initiate decomposition throughout your layers. Building your lazy layers, the strategic assembly. Now begins the layering process that makes this method so effective yet simple. Start with nitrogen-rich materials directly on your cardboard base: vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, green plant trimmings, or fresh grass clippings in a layer about 2 inches thick. This nitrogen-rich material accelerates decomposition and feeds soil microorganisms. Follow this with a carbon-rich layer approximately 4 inches thick. Dry leaves, straw, shredded paper, or small twigs work perfectly. This carbon layer prevents nitrogen from escaping as gas and provides structure to your developing soil. Continue alternating nitrogen and carbon layers until you've built a stack approximately 12 to 18 inches high, finishing with a carbon layer. Once your stack is complete, sprinkle a light dusting of wood ash, about 1 cup per 40 square feet, to provide potassium and trace minerals. If available, add a handful of crushed dried seaweed or kelp meal for its remarkable array of trace elements that are often depleted in overworked soils. Finally, top everything with a thin 1-inch layer of finished compost or good garden soil. Water this entire assembly thoroughly, not just a sprinkle, but a deep soaking that ensures moisture penetrates all layers. Cover the entire area with an old sheet, burlap, or landscape fabric to prevent it from drying out too quickly, and to discourage birds from disturbing your materials. Secure the edges with rocks or bricks. The patience phase, nature's time frame. Here's where the lazy aspect truly reveals itself, and where Western and Korean approaches diverge most dramatically. Simply leave your creation alone for 3 to 6 months depending on your climate. In warmer regions, 3 months might suffice. In cooler areas, allow 6 months or even overwinter the pile. This patience allows nature's decomposition experts, bacteria, fungi, and invertebrates, to transform your raw materials into living soil. During this waiting period, remarkable transformations occur beneath the surface. The cardboard softens and attracts earthworms from deeper soil layers. As these worms consume the cardboard, they create channels between your new soil and the compacted ground beneath. Beneficial fungi establish networks throughout the layers, breaking down complex organic molecules into plant-available nutrients. The heat generated by decomposition helps eliminate weed seeds and pathogens naturally. Reveal your new living soil. When you finally remove the cover after the waiting period, you'll discover that your pile has shrunk considerably, often to about 1/3 of its original height. What remains is dark, crumbly, sweet-smelling soil teeming with life. The bottom layers will have transformed most completely, while the top may still contain recognizable materials that will continue breaking down over time. This new soil layer is now ready for planting without any additional preparation. For transplants, simply part the layers to create a pocket and install your plant. For direct seeding, add a thin layer of screened compost to create a smooth seeding surface. The plant roots will naturally grow downward through your newly created soil and into the channels created by earthworms in the soil beneath. Maintaining and enhancing your living soil system. The beauty of this Korean approach becomes even more apparent in subsequent seasons. Each fall or spring, simply add new layers of organic material on top. Fallen leaves, yard trimmings, kitchen scraps covered with compost. No tilling or turning is required. This mimics the natural process in forests where leaf litter continually builds soil from above. Plants grown in this system develop remarkable resilience. Their root systems interact with diverse soil microorganisms, forming beneficial relationships that improve nutrient uptake and disease resistance. You'll notice reduced need for watering as the organic matter retains moisture effectively, and fewer pest problems as plant health improves. For areas with extremely poor soil, I recommend repeating this layering process for 2 consecutive years. By the 3rd year, you'll have developed a deeply fertile growing medium that requires only occasional top dressing to maintain its remarkable productivity. Beyond lazy, smart, and sustainable. This Korean lazy method isn't just about saving labor, it's about working intelligently with natural processes rather than fighting against them. It builds carbon-rich soil that helps mitigate climate change while producing healthier, more nutrient-dense food. By eliminating tilling, it preserves soil structure and biological communities that took centuries to evolve. If you're ready to transform your garden with less work and better results, give this traditional Korean method a try. Your back will thank you, your plants will thrive, and you'll be participating in a sustainable approach to agriculture that has stood the test of time. Remember to subscribe to Hydrohaven for more practical, science-backed gardening techniques that blend ancient wisdom with modern understanding. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming series on Korean natural fertilizer preparations that perfectly complement this soil building method. Until next time, may your garden be as effortless as it is abundant.